Yo, 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 how we doing today? We got my boy Felix Reyes over here. The better Felix is some people are saying. Oh, sorry, I had a little feedback because I was I was on the YouTube channel. I hope you're doing well today. All the big news is happening today, obviously with Najee blowing up, and then right at the end of your show with our boy JSU, you guys found out that Keenan Allen signing with the Colts. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about that, and how are you doing today?
Good, man. Thank you so much for having me on. Yes, the day started really with the Najee news. As soon as I got that notification popped in, I tagged you real quick and I was like, I don't know anyone more than Felix Castro over here who's drafted Najee Harris. And I'm sure you've shared that story many times and how he's helped you win the big one. But yes, the Najee Harris sounds, I think I read Art Stapleton on Twitter, right? Was stating that he could very well sign today or tomorrow with the Giants. So that would be a huge pickup for them. I'm curious as far as like who that impacts the most, but I'm sure we'll hear more on that. And then the Keenan Allen news, no shocker at this point, basically just due to the rumors, right? The
Mhm.
connections to Shane Steichen and everyone connecting him there, but they desperately needed another wide receiver with the recent Alec Pierce news for sure.
Yeah, obviously, as the biggest bag holder of Najee, I was pretty excited just to even hear him connected with literally anybody at this point. I was pretty excited. So, uh, good old Naj holding it down for me, and it's like Scatabo 2. Well, technically he was the original, but like they play a very similar style. Now, some people are saying that might be not a great thing for Scat, but I think it was more along the lines that they wanted to bring another running back in, and I think it's a better way to keep Scatabo fresh and honestly better at pass protection than our boy Tyrone than letting a free pass rusher in. But so I think a more stable back room would be good for them anyway. So I thought
Was
that
that one of the teams you were hoping he would sign on to, or one that
did
you did not expect at all?
did not expect it at all. But once I heard that Greg Roman was there, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like
That's
he played
true.
for him last year. There was a podcast that he did with Marshawn Lynch and Mike Robinson.
Okay.
He talked about like being around a really good coaching room, like, and so like I didn't like think about like the other coaches that were involved with that. So like that makes sense.
Yeah, and Greg Roman loves to run the ball. So if there
Yes.
is one thing about him, that is something that he has catered to his offense for sure.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go ahead and jump into a DraftKings best ball $3 million to first place. Second place gets another $2 million, and third place gets $1 million. That is going to be exciting for anybody that comes to the top three. And it's not even like that bad of a prize. The further you go down, I think it's probably the best, well built DraftKings best ball draft they've run in a ever. It's like 3 million makers are going to be crowned this year.
Yeah, that payout is pretty awesome. Really, you just want to make the top three. Obviously, the first place would be awesome.
Yeah.
You having won that before. But yeah, now with the 3, 2, and 1, the first three spots are going to be millionaires. So yeah,
That's
that would
crazy.
be really great feeling. And hopefully we can draft a winner here for sure.
I mean, even like top 20 get a nice little 50K bump. Like, yeah, you didn't win, but 50K is not something to sneeze about. Like the year I won it, it was a million to first, I think it was 110,000 to second, and then it was like the prize just kept falling down. So like getting top 20 is not something to sneeze at in this tournament, especially with a big old big old final.
Yeah, that payout structure looks really nice over here. Is there anything that you have been kind of like targeting a lot this year on DraftKings in terms of? I know your exposure is
Yeah.
usually high on the Chargers, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place with my exposures. Like I'm not, I shouldn't say all over the place. I'm heavily dominated towards like a certain group of players. I like to build like a set of core like of 4 to 5 players, and I like to just build around that set. This year, I've been hit by the injury bug pretty hard at the wide receiver area,
Oh,
but Yeah. How about you? Do you like to? How do you like to have your exposures?
Well, I am a Bears fan, but that
Yeah.
has not
Yeah.
much to do with where my exposure has lied. I do believe in that offense. I do believe in Ben Johnson's offense
Okay.
overall. So just like our guy JSU, I've been drafting a lot of that Detroit Lions, Chicago Bears stacks for that
Yeah.
week 17 correlation. But I have been picking up Chargers guys. But as far as like team exposure, yeah, the Bears and the Lions are two of my highest exposed teams, and so are the Saints as well.
Yeah.
I've been really big on Chris Olave this year, and now obviously with the latest news, this is only going to improve things for Chris Olave.
Yeah. I haven't taken any Chris Olave really that. I shouldn't say any, but I hadn't taken that much until the last 2 days, and then it's gonna be pretty hard to get him now. I think after the second round, just because of the Tyson going down for 2 months. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't think 2 whole months.
that whole hamstring issue that he also, this is dating back to college now.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's just this reoccurring issue with him. It's really unfortunate, honestly, because
Yeah.
the talent is all there.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for this team too.
I'm still like, I mean, he's off my board because I had my bags packed. I was at 30, I think it was like 34, 35%. So like, I'm not going to take him anymore, but I'm still not like closing the door on him. He's going to come back in October. So we'll still have all of November and then the more important, the playoff weeks. So I think if you want to grab him, pick 100 is where you can start for today. And then you could probably look, I think he's still a viable pick around the 120 to 150 range, somewhere in that ballpark.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially if he starts dropping, which I saw today.
Yeah.
We were drafting over on the other site, and he dropped to like, like 97, I think I saw him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 97, 98.
I drafted while I took a little nap because I'm not normally up this late. So I was like, I'll take a little nap. But as I was falling asleep, I was doing a UD draft. And he went to 101 over there.
101, wow.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy about that? You got Mekhi Lemon, who I guess he was spotted today participating on the side, still hasn't practiced, still getting selected. We're seeing a little bit of a drop with him. And then Alec Pierce is another one who I haven't seen drop enough. But with Tyson's news, everyone's reacting to that a lot quicker. I guess that has more to do with knowing for sure it's going to be 2 months versus still not having a timetable on Alec Pierce.
Yeah, the Alec Pierce thing spooks me immediately because it's like, they paid him a whole bunch of money, but like in my head, they knew that he was going to get a surgery, but I don't think they realized like how long the surgery and like the recovery was actually going to take. Okay, so we are on the clock at ADP. We have Genty, Barkley. What do you like to go here at the turn pick?
I like to go Genty here. And over here on DraftKings, I'm open to Chase Brown. I'm open to Kenneth Walker. Really leave that up to you. I know you like Omarion Hampton here too, right?
Yeah, I do have him ranked at 11. I do have him in my 12. But I've been trying to get more Chase Brown because I am very into the Bengals, anything Bengals right now. They look like their defense is not like amazing still, so you can't go wrong with Chase Brown at this point.
No, not at all. And then the competition in that backfield doesn't seem to be anything worrisome. They did bring Samaje Perine back over there.
Yeah.
But I still think at this point in Samaje Perine's career, I don't think he's going to take as much as he's done in the past. And then now with the way that they're going to be implementing this offense, it looks like Joe Burrow is going to be taking more snaps under center. I just think there's going to be a little more played out for Chase Brown, going out wide and such things too. So I think this is going to be a big year for Chase Brown.
I agree. And I was going to say something to piggyback off that. The work that Perine got, it's like, they probably want to get him some work. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, they're going to get him some work just to get his legs going too. I still think it's going to be more of a 80-20, not really like everybody was talking about.
For sure.
It was a 60, he got 60%. That's the snap rate. I'm like, yeah, well, you'll probably get more when the actual season's going, and he'll come off for third down sometimes. But Chase Brown has all the chops to do everything in that backfield. So
yeah, and they liked Samaje Perine, due to his pass catching abilities, but also his pass protection as well. He's a really good pass blocker up front. But yeah, I think that Joe Burrow at this point has a lot of trust with Chase Brown.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of pressure on this Bengals team. This Bengals team, if I had to pick one team that has a ton of pressure on, it's this team in particular. Zach Taylor, this could be, I mean, we say this every year, I feel like, or at least I do. Could be Zach Taylor's last season.
It is, yeah.
But the Bengals are in a tough spot. They really need to start getting they definitely need to make the playoffs this year. They need to win their division for things to look a little differently over there. And then who knows? I mean, we've heard rumors about Joe Burrow maybe wanting to leave. I don't think that would be the case, but I've seen crazier things happen in the NFL.
There's like a couple websites where you can predict the whole season. I had a Bengals Chargers in the AFC title game, so that's what I'm hoping for. You know, like a little back and forth there,
Man,
because we kind of beat them, and we always beat them. So I'm like, that's who I want to, you know.
And then you got the two quarterbacks that came out of the same draft.
Yeah,
Herbert was highly touted coming out of Oregon, and then Joe Burrow having that amazing final season with LSU that put him at that number one spot. So that would be cool. That would be great for the narratives, the storyline. And heck, if we see Justin Herbert in the Super Bowl, I am hoping that also means that boy wrapped up an MVP for the year.
Yes, so, I have a few of those bets placed. Like I bet like $10, you know, a day, and I'll put them like in different spots. Yeah, and I put them in different spots, and like that's something that's in the reoccurring spot that I like to do. And
have you done like the same scenarios? You know how like DraftKings lets you do that over on their sports book. Yeah, you can do like same scenario. So Chargers and Bengals, and then you can also put the outcome of the game as well. Yeah, for some higher what do you call it? Higher spreads and better odds, I should say.
This guy's
sure those odds are great.
Asking if anybody else high on Najee this year. I mean, I don't think there's anybody higher on Najee than your boy here. And
that's my 90% Chasers in the chat. What's up, man? Welcome, man. But yeah, he loves Najee too, man. So that's Felix, good. I don't think anybody loves Najee more than you do. Tell Chasers what Najee did for you.
Najee, last play of the season, 2021-2022 season. I was actually on a vacation the whole Sunday before it, so I didn't get to see any of the plays. So like the only player that I got to see from my team was Najee, and that game he went off for like 200 yards, stiff arming everybody. It was insane. And on the last play of the game, he goes for a 36-yard touchdown to win me the $1 million. It was absolutely insane.
You're forever indebted to Najee Harris.
Yeah. What do you like to do here? I really don't get a lot over here at the turn pick. So
I would say here for sure we got to go wide receiver. I think T Higgins still be on the board is actually really solid. Yeah, I would probably go T here, and then I don't know how you feel, but I'm perfectly fine going a Colston Loveland. If you wanted to go another wide receiver, I'm open to like a Jalen Waddle or yeah, I'm sure we can see some guys push over here on DraftKings. Things go a little bit differently too, right?
I like the elite tight end, so let's go ahead, Loveland. I'm a Bears guy as well.
There we go.
It works well with working with JSU over at RPS. Like we're both fairly on a lot of the same teams. We're both on the Bears. That's who I have on the other side of the Chargers Super Bowl run. I have us losing to the Bears because I think they're a pretty good squad over there. So,
oh man, that scenario would be great for us.
Yeah,
we've been waiting for one of those moments since the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, Loveland, Higgins, and then I mean we got two Cincinnati guys. So you just mentioned how high you are. If there's a way we can land Joe Burrow a little bit later and our what is it from the 3 spot there, if they don't go Joe, which I doubt in the 4th or 5th round, we might have a shot at Joe Burrow.
I'll be honest, I if I'm that chase drafter, I'm 100% taking Joe Burrow in the 5th round. Yeah, every time. Like I don't. If I am the chase drafter,
high. You don't
every time. I'm because that combination, the ceiling is so high.
Oh, for sure.
If they had that spike week for week 17, they own the Baltimore Ravens. So in my head, I'm like, if you get that opportunity, you need to take that combo as much as possible.
I like that. I respect that. But yeah, for our sake though, I really hope that he
I
falls
hope that
to
he
us.
does not. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people like to try to push it over on UD. You never see the person in the 5th round take them.
Yeah, Joe Burrow almost usually goes to the chase drafter on
Yeah.
UD. At least it feels like it.
Well, because on DraftKings, it's no way it's gonna make it. Like I'd say 1 out of 15 does he make it back to you in the 6th. So like, don't you want that pairing with your number 1 wide receiver with your quarterback? So like in my head, I'd rather take that. I'll take an L at my RB2 or my wide receiver 3. I'd rather take Joe Burrow every time.
Yeah, no, I agree. So they go Swift there.
Yeah,
which is a solid pick.
yeah, it's good.
You think they go there pick 51 then? I don't know.
Let me see what we got here. Let's
Joe
see
Burrow over Lamar Jackson. That's kind of like how I look at it now,
Yeah.
Did
I don't.
Lamar go?
I try. That'd be weird if he went. I think, and now he's still
No,
going.
he hasn't. So that's why, you know what I mean? Like if you're forcing that, you really just want that correlation. But sometimes I don't push it that far out.
Yeah.
I can live with a one-off Jamar Chase, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't. I don't get me wrong. Lamar's good. The regression we saw last year, and I get that everybody's on this new OC.
That new OC happens to come from Chicago, Declan Doyle.
Yeah, but was he a product of is he an actual replicate of Ben Johnson, or is he just he was there kind of thing?
Well, I mean, he did play a big part in a lot of the passing concept stuff that they had. Obviously, he didn't call plays. That was all Ben Johnson. Right. But he comes from the Sean Payton offense, which is a little bit of what kind of like, there we go. So, yeah, Joe Burrow might fall to us, man.
Yeah.
Might. Yeah, might. Exactly. And that drafter may want Caleb. But, yeah, Declan Doyle comes from the Sean Payton kind of coaching tree in a way, in a sense, but not really, because now, he was an OC with Ben Johnson, so he's going to fall there. But there's a lot when it comes to like Ben Johnson's style and his offensive game plan. He's got a little hint of Sean Payton in there as well, just due to the coaches he's been around. So I don't know. I'm curious, but everything that we're reading and everything we're hearing, it sounds like Declan Doyle is going to have more of that Ben Johnson style stuff, which would be cool to see. Because over in Washington, they're going to be running Ben Johnson's offense over there with David Blau.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm interested. I am interested, but for fantasy purposes, for me, it's kind of hard to click Joe Burrow over Lamar unless you have a stack like we do, for instance.
You'd be surprised over on DraftKings though how many people are just taking naked Burrow and.
Yeah, which is so weird. Burrow, I feel like you should be stacking, and there we go.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna take him at wide receiver. What do you like here at wide receiver?
Oh man, out of the options on the board, I'm all in on Carnell Tate. Okay. I don't hate. So Parker Washington is gone, right? Been drafting him a little bit more on DraftKings, not so much at UD, but I do like Brian Thomas as well. Okay. I don't think there's too much of a difference here necessarily in terms of options go, but yeah, I would say we probably should go wide receiver. Yeah. How about you? Do you have a take between Carnell Tate, Brian Thomas? I lean a little bit more Carnell Tate just because the wide receiver 1 row seems to be locked for him.
Yeah, I'm in on Carnell Tate. Yeah,
okay.
I own a lot of Tate. I think there's a Brian Daboll positive outcome here where there's good coaching all around Tennessee. Now, he may not be the featured wide receiver, but we're probably going to grab 7-8 of them. So, wide receivers, we're going to have, the upside of when he goes off that he's going to explode because he's more of a big play down the field type wide receiver. So, when he scores, it's going to be good points kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued by the Brian Daboll offense as well. We've seen how wide receiver 1s have played under that offense. I mean, Malik Neighbors alone. Kind of saw what Brian Daboll did with that offense, and he really catered it to him. Yeah. I know they added Wan'Dale Robinson and such, but I think drafting Carnell Tate top 5 tells you everything you need to know. They really want to utilize him, feature him, and this is going to be a big piece. If Cam Ward is the real deal, and for him to take the next step, you really need Carnell Tate to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what we're all hoping for, at least. I'm not like a huge Tennessee guy, but I think Cam will step up this second year.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I'm a Cam Ward believer. I know he hasn't looked great, but again, I think that the NFL, in a way, like NFL fans, they're very impatient when it comes to players. A lot of these guys don't even have the opportunity of really just developing. Back then, at least a decade ago or a little over that, quarterbacks sat behind other quarterbacks and sat there for like 2 to 3 years at the very least. And it gave them an opportunity to really develop, thrive, understand, learn playbooks. Now, rookies nowadays are just getting thrown out there day one and are
Yeah,
expected to know everything and everything.
it's crazy. It's crazy, like the amount of pressure that rookie wide receivers have in general, and to go off of the quarterbacks. Like before, I remember I've been doing this for a while now, but I remember Julio Jones and AJ Green's rookie year. I mean, I got him in my last round of my home league drafts because back then rookie wide receivers didn't have to do anything to really that first year, and the where we come from since then, it's like the amount of pressure we put on rookies and the expectancy of what they're supposed to like accomplish. It's crazy. We put too much. I think we still put too much on rookies to get accomplished, but they keep showing out. So we gotta keep doing it, I guess.
Oh yeah, going far back to that, I remember home leagues drafting Cam Newton with the last pick his rookie
Yeah,
season,
dude, it was
just
awesome.
because he was a rookie quarterback and the expectation for a rookie quarterback wasn't that high. So I felt that was a strategy I used to
I'm
use a
I'm,
lot
I'm pretty sure he went
before.
undrafted in my league.
Yeah, see? And that's the way it was. But for me, I
Yeah,
felt even at a younger age when I was playing back then like that, my strategy was always to kind of just chase the young guys. And
yeah,
little did I know there was a strategy behind that because I found there was way too many quarterbacks taken in the first round back then.
yeah.
Peyton
I was
Manning, Tom
Tom
Brady,
Brady. I think that
Big
was the
Ben.
I went Tom Brady or I went Colin Johnson, not Colin Johnson, Calvin Johnson in the first round and then Tom Brady in the second or something.
I'll never forget the year I drafted Tom Brady finally in the first round, and I gave in to the idea of just drafting quarterbacks in the first round. And I was like, all right, I got to get Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the dude. And then he was out that season. And I was just like, really? And nothing hurts more than losing your first round pick.
Yeah,
That is the biggest crusher of all crushers.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you're just like trying to bounce back for sure those
yeah.
seasons.
Oh, those were tough seasons. Now over here on Best Ball, you just get the points that are given to you. You could draft 1,000 of these, so you're not relying on just one team anymore. That's the great thing about Best Ball.
I have a question for you. Do you
Yeah,
remember somewhat of how your build was set up that year you won? How many
yeah.
quarterbacks and running
A
backs did
three
you have?
a 3-5-10-2 build, which
A
I
3, 5,
specifically
10, 2.
I
Okay.
specifically built last year or 2 years ago. All of my builds were 3-5-10-2s, and that didn't work out because I wasn't like thinking about like how I actually constructed it. It was heavy RB early, so it was like obvious why it had so many receivers because I went later at receiver because I had I went two running backs. It was Nick Chubb, Najee, and then I reached for Cooper Cup and then got Chris Godwin because that was the combo that I wanted on all
Yeah.
of my teams because they had the previous year. Oh, hold on, we're at the turn here.
Mhm.
We have at ADP, we have Tyson still, which the Prescott, Cortland Sutton, Stephon Diggs, Herbert.
I like Diggs here. I feel like the wide receiver stuff starts taking a drop here, in my personal opinion,
Yeah,
especially with the Tyson news. Sutton, a lot of these guys I'm not very
I heard
fond of
you're
taking.
big on Corum.
Yes, that is my highest exposed player currently right now.
We got to get your highest exposed player on
Yeah,
spot.
Blake
So
Cora, man. I just think his price for best ball purposely, I had a whole conversation on my stream last night about this. For redraft, it's going to be a little bit different in terms of a my guy like that, like Blake Corum. It's more of where we're taking, like Kyron went in the second round. Look at that pick, 22, which is
yeah,
crazy to me. And then you get Blake Corum in round 8. And mind you, he's moved up a ton now. But prior to all this, we were getting him, and he was a little more buried over here on DraftKings.
yeah,
So you were able to get away with getting him like in the 11th or 12th round at times, maybe even a little further than that, depending on how the draft room went out. But when considering how the second half of last season went and just seeing how they were sharing that backfield, it was pretty much split right in between.
yeah,
And I know there's a lot of cases and stories you can kind of tell yourself, and maybe they were preserving Kyron for the playoffs, and it kind of seemed like that. one thing's for sure, when they drafted Blake Corum in the 3rd round, I believe the year he came out,
Yeah.
there was a goal and a whole thing in place. Blake Corum also kind of profiles a little bit like Kyron Williams coming out of college. They have a very similar kind of profile.
You know who he had the exact same profile as? When they were both in college at the same time facing each other, him and Chase Brown were like identical.
You're talking about Blake Corum, right?
Yeah, Blake Corum and Chase Brown are like identical, because I'm a big University of Michigan fan. So like I would watch other games, and so they would face each other, and then they're like, oh, well, they would do the side by side profiles, and they were the exact same type of player. And before Blake Corum had that leg injury, I mean, he was an explosive pass catching, every down back, and he can handle the whole workload. So if something ever happens to Kyron, he would shoot a league winner right there. Yeah, he would shoot to second, third. I mean, at least.
So that's why I feel that where we're drafting him, I still think for what you're paying for him, he should still give you somewhere near what Kyron's getting, and you're paying a higher price for him.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like Blake Corum has just been an easy click. I'm at 40% right now with him on UD, which you get a little nervous with once you start reaching those numbers. But quite honestly,
those are big numbers.
It's just where the running backs fall at that point. It's just very hard to click any other guys, really, when it comes to that.
Chuba is a weird click right there. Mungai just went down. He's going to be out for a few weeks.
They're all guys that split well outside of Manungai, right? But Chuba was, quote unquote, considered maybe possibly the guy who's going to split a backfield, and then you start thinking even before that with the Rico Dotto and the Jalen Warrens, and you're kind of telling yourself a story, and you're like, Blake Corum can't do that when his guy is getting drafted how many rounds before him? About 6-7 rounds above him?
Right. Yeah.
Versus Rico Dotto and Jalen Warren are getting drafted a round apart. Yeah. And then you have all the other guys like, Rashad White, Ja'Cory are in the same field. Now you got Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard. I mean, Chuba Hubbard went down with a hamstring injury right now, so we don't know too much about how that's going to look. But these are all the split backfields that are getting drafted alongside each other, and I can get Blake Corum where I'm getting him. And that's honestly why the click has been so much easier for me. I feel
it's the split backfield, but why are we taking, why is that one such a huge split? It's because that offense is good. So why aren't we taking him? He should be at the top of the split backfield.
And a team, I believe, wholeheartedly are going to be depending on that run. I think they're going to, you talk about preserve, they need to preserve Matthew Stafford. I think this is his final year.
Oh, it's 100. I'm in the same boat as you. I think him and Rodgers, it's there.
Heck, even McVay, because if they win it all, McVay has talked about leaving too.
I know. He's so young, it really doesn't make sense to me. But
leave on top. Yeah, I mean that's just the way he sees it.
I think that's the way he sees it too. It was a lot of conversations the last time they won it. All right, back on the clock, we have Dart at the top. Well, at top of my ranks. We got Pierce, Jordan Mason, Jackson Dart on the top of the ADP. Is there anything you like here?
Not Pierce. Running backs. I mean, we can go running back here. Do you feel quarterback wise? I mean, I don't know how much we have on that clock right now.
We have 8 seconds. Yeah.
Who do you have clicked right now?
I put Dart in just because I have another quarterback. So at running backs, do you like anything here?
So on DraftKings, I feel as far as these three guys, like Mason, it's in a good spot here. Okay. I kind of lean a little bit more Mason, but Rashad White has a decent role too. Yeah, I think I would go Mason. I think Mason has a chance to run away at least early into the season with that role.
Yeah, I haven't drafted a lot of Mason, partially because he just keeps going higher and higher.
Yeah,
I don't know where the buzz came from or what I missed, but
I don't draft much of him. I think he's actually an even better selection over on UD just due to his style of his running style and possibly the touchdown equity there. I don't really click him. I think it's just far as the running backs there, he has more routes to being like a true RB1 because it's like Aaron Jones is going to have a role, but it almost felt like they were trying to get rid of Aaron Jones for a little bit before they signed him back on. They cut him, they brought him back on a cheaper deal. And then who I've actually drafted a little bit more of late in rounds is Damon Claiborne. I feel like Claiborne has like a better shot of being something for the price that you're getting him, which is like literally at the end of
Yeah,
drafts.
I had a lot of DeMond Claymore right after the draft, and I thought it's free. It's a free shot at a explosive running back. You know, he's gonna get at least 2, I think, in this season at the bare minimum. Like they're gonna give him an opportunity, and he's gonna get a 50-yard run,
Which is perfect if you're getting him in the 20th round.
Yeah,
He'll pay off that price ASAP.
Yeah, free. Yeah.
So here you're really leaning on Jordan Mason to be somebody, and I feel when you're comparing him to Aaron Jones, I think Mason has a better shot. Obviously, Aaron Jones profiles like a better player in PPR formats, just due to what he does as a pass catcher. But my lean there really just came based off of who was on the board and the guy who may have a little bit more snap shares to take.
Yeah, we may take like maybe 1 or 2 more running backs at the most here. And then because we had a solid team at running backs, and we're going to start attacking wide receiver and tight ends the majority. I grabbed a naked Jackson Dart partially because he's already past ADP. The quarterbacks kind of go crazy fast here, and you don't want to be behind. Just being on the safe side, grab your second.
Mm-hmm.
And Dart's a really good second to have because he can he's a mobile quarterback, and now that there's a potential with him and Najee, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, well, I can always backstack with Najee. I actually really like Malachi Fields, so
they seem to like Malachi Fields a lot too.
Yeah.
So that's an option. Theo Johnson could be an option very late in the draft too. Yeah. So there's routes to still backstack a guy like Jackson Dart, but he is one of those kind of quarterbacks that you can run naked.
Yeah.
That's another guy who's been moving up a little bit more on boards too. Chris Rodriguez. It seems like the noise on him has been a little bit more positive, although I still think he might still have that lingering injury that might bug him throughout the season. But the Tootin stuff, man, he's gotten priced a lot higher. As much as I've drafted Tootin, I think the price has gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep clicking this name right here with the other options on the board.
I agree. Man, this 3-hole drafter, I like his team. It's a pretty good team. That's what happens when you push the Burrow past, you push the Burrow past 51. You get Caleb with this nice little bear stack. It is nice. He was able to get Chase, Kyron, Nico, DeAndre Swift, Caleb Williams, Rico Dowdle. Like his running back room's a little wishy-washy, but it's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So Pierce went pick 115. See, so I'm curious your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Because I've been asking myself this question. When is it too far to let Alec Pierce drop? And I think maybe the 10th or 11th round is probably when we should start considering him given his kind of like profile and what he can do fantasy wise.
10th round, I think the end of the 10th round, the back half of the 10th round / early 6th is where it's good, where it makes sense now that they brought in another wide receiver. He doesn't have to play that, a dependent role. Like he can go back to being a more high upside, risky. Oh man, why is Keaton Mitchell? Sorry, I got distracted by my guy Keaton Mitchell there. Still being there. He can go back to being like the high big play type receiver and dominate still like the intermediate game.
Yeah. And that's not to say that I wanted to draft a lot of him. Of course, Keaton Mitchell gets taken right before we do.
Yeah. I was like, I don't need a running back, but then I was like, well, that Keaton Mitchell does look nice. What do you like here at receiver?
I like Coker. I do Coker. I like Coker here. I think he's still a pretty good pick up here. And then
we have Chig and Jake and Ferguson.
We have an elite tight end, so I don't feel like we have to push this here too much.
Sure. Yeah.
So maybe we can look at what's on at the running back position, in my opinion, kind of see where we can play with.
Not a lot of options there.
Yeah, I don't really love Woody, and then the whole Tyron Tracy thing is obviously off the board for me.
Yeah, me too.
I don't mind. Yeah, see, we can probably wait another round. Maybe we take a wide receiver. Who's there for you?
Higgins, Rashid.
I mean, those are great players right there. Yeah, any of those two guys I'm good with. I kind of like Higgins. And Shaheed, I think has some sneaky upside too.
I don't know what to think about Shaheed because there's a world where he's good, right? Don't get me wrong. There's that possibility, but like they had Torrey Horton last year who looked explosive every time he touched the ball. They have Cup. They have JSN and when Rashid played last year, it was mainly special teams, and then like occasional like end around and like plays like that. It wasn't like he was involved that much in the offense. But new offense coordinator maybe have an affinity for him, so I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think when they traded for him, so Rashid Shaheed is one of those players I feel has been completely underrated for so many years. I actually think he's a really solid wide receiver and played really well in New Orleans. Clint Kubiak really utilized him well when he was out there as well with the Saints prior to coming over to Seattle. When they traded for him, I think Torrey Horton going down put them in a position where they wanted Shaheed to basically replicate that same role that Horton did.
Yeah.
But I think there was a plan in place for Shaheed. And with that extension they gave him, the follow the money phrase, I think that they really do want to put him in a position where he could take a little bit off of JSN right now to help him because, the coverages are going to look a lot differently this year when it comes to JSN, especially after the monster season he had. I still think Torrey Horton still carries the same role. What I think is Horton's just going to be the same Horton that we've seen him to be. Carries the same upside, perfect for spike weeks, but he's going to still be a strong special teams player for them. And I think Shaheed takes on that wide receiver 2 role. I think Cooper Kupp starts, trending a different route. Personally, I haven't been drafting him a lot. Obviously, I loved Cooper Kupp back then, and I thought he was great. But I don't know. At least that's the story I'm telling myself when I draft Rashid Shaheed, because my recency, my whole memory based on Shaheed when he was with the Saints, it was really good stuff, man. I thought he was a really good wide receiver.
Yeah.
So that's where I fall, and I think that's one of the reasons why he keeps falling, because I don't think a lot of people have a bullish take on him.
Yeah.
But I think Rashid Shaheed is very, very capable, talent-wise, to pay off that ADP price where he's currently going right now.
I just go back to like in my brain. It goes back to the Super Bowl. Like he wasn't like it was Cup that got all the usage, but like you said, they paid him a lot of money to open up that offense. So maybe I need to remove my bias. Cooper Kupp, because that was my highest owned player. My second highest on player that year was Cooper Kupp.
Oh yeah, and a few years ago, I mean, Kupp was like a first round pick too, right? Like that's a whole different type of Cooper Kupp. But one thing I actually think of when I think of Cooper Kupp, as much as I liked him as a player, it felt like Los Angeles didn't really have an issue getting rid of him the way they got rid of him too.
So rude.
Yeah, and they basically made him who he was, right? The whole career that he had in Los Angeles was really what Sean McVay was kind of designing for him. And once he got his hands on Puka Nacua, he was just like, oh, I could do the same thing with Puka and more. And that's what made Puka Nacua thrive. Because had everyone know that year that Puka was going to be playing the Cooper Kupp role, guarantee you Puka Nacua was never going to go late in rounds the way he did. Instead, I remember back then, I don't know if you remember, because I was drafting best balls then, everybody was assuming that Puka Nacua was going to be taking on the Robert Woods role. And they're like, oh, okay, he's going to be Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp is going to stay Cooper Kupp. And then they were kind of just playing that game. I was like, oh, that's the route tree he's going to go. And instead it flipped. And it was like, no, Cooper Kupp is not running the same routes anymore. It's Puka now. And Puka had that monster season.
I was on that. I was like, well, if something happens to Cooper Kupp, this is going to be the guy that takes his role, because if you watched any of his college tape, it was like a lot of what was running. I was like, this is not this. Yeah, I was a little worried in the sense like if he could stay healthy, and that was like because he could never stay healthy in college. So I was like, if he could stay healthy, he can take it over this job.
He also played at Washington. I don't know if you knew that. He was with the Huskies as well. And I remember listening to an interview with Rome Odunze, and someone asked him, they were like, hey, you had Puka Nacua in that same wide receiver room. Did you guys know how good he was? And he was like, honestly, we knew. It just didn't work out for us. Unfortunately, he left the team. But had he stood with us, he was like, we definitely would have done even better with him.
I think I heard on your show that you're not always a 3-quarterback team. Do you not?
Well, on DraftKings, I like to take 3 quarterbacks because their quarterbacks just fly off the board. I think we should go Cam Ward here because we have Cornell Tate.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Cam Ward dropping here feels a little good for us. and then we could take him here, given that we have Joe Burrow, and I feel like we can kind of close out the 3 quarterbacks. I just do it over there because there's 18 rounds, and I try to put more depth at other positions. But on DraftKings with 20 rounds, I'm perfectly fine hitting 3 quarterbacks. Rarely I go 2. At wide receiver here, what's at running back, real quickly? I don't know how much time we have there.
Yeah, I'm letting it run on Cam Ward. So
okay, gotcha. So Lloyd, it's so hard to draft Lloyd. Bigsby, I'm open to Bigsby. I think Bigsby, that whole situation there.
You don't tell me twice. I like Bigsby.
Yeah, I actually think Bigsby is one of like most underpriced player. You know how we try to look for that every week, and early in the offseason it was so much easier. Right now, I think Bigsby is very underpriced because if something really is happening with Saquon Barkley, which we're kind of getting some notes out there, like if something's wrong with him, I was talking about it on my stream too. Like Bigsby's going to jump up a lot because he's going to be a bell cow in that offense. I really do believe he's got that. Yeah. And when you go back to last year, him and Etienne were going neck to neck for that RB1 role, and there was many people who were leaning on the Bigsby side before they handed it over to Etienne, and then they traded Bigsby to possibly the worst scenario possible.
Yeah, they really
because we're getting Saquon Barkley coming off of a monster season like he did, and we're like, well, he's there to kind of die basically on that roster, and now we get Bigsby another year there, and alongside that offensive line, if Bigsby, I expect it sounds like there are reports too that Barkley may not get that heavy bell cow role, that they do want to preserve him a little bit, but overall I think that run game is going to be crucial for this offense that they're implementing over there. I think they want to lean more on that run game than to put so much on his back, Jalen Hurts, that is.
Just want to say hello to Who. How you doing today, buddy? We did a stream last night for a few hours or a couple hours over on his stream. Pretty fun over there. Like I don't think they're going to go into any kind of route where they're trying to save. I don't have any aspirations that they're going to do what the Rams are doing. You know, it's not going to be a 50-50.
No, it won't be.
But it could easily be something along the what we were talking about earlier with Samaje Perine, not in that same role, but that amount of work where he gets like 20% of the work, and that's not bad for the Eagles. Number 2, number 1 some places, offensive line rank, like, and hopefully a way better play caller this year. It was boring. It was predictable. like I don't know what we were doing there last year over at the Eagles, but yeah, it was pretty comically bad.
At some point, we got to point the finger at Nick Sirianni too, because he's making these hires and all that, and I feel like he hides away, and that's his skill set. Apparently, he is an offensive-minded coach, and when he was under Frank Reich, that was who he was, and he runs away from all of that. Always falls on every OC before it falls on him or Jalen Hurts. I find that quite comical, honestly.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this new offense is. I think at this point, Eagles fans and the media are going a little. They're growing a little impatient with Jalen Hurts. So if it does not work out with Sean Mannion, would not surprise me if some shakeup happens over there. Things sounded that bad pretty much during the draft. We were getting a lot of noise that they may be looking into drafting a quarterback, which they did. They did draft a quarterback.
You knew I could see Hurts going to and making a splash is the Jets. I think that'd be a team that if they don't do well, they're gonna be like, well, we can't get any worse. We're gonna take Jalen Hurts.
That would be such a Jets move, though.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Like, we got the number 2 pick and we can get one of these quarterbacks. Nope, let's go trade it all for Jalen Hurts and make this move instead of just resetting and starting their whole team all over again. That would be crazy. I'm sure. I
could see them doing something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely could.
We're coming up here in a couple picks. We're good at quarterbacks.
Speaking of the Jets, Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq, those are guys that have been falling too.
Yeah, and Cyrus Allen has been rising. So they're meeting in the middle here.
Pat Bryant, has risen a lot too. He's someone I like there too.
Okay, well,
because he's got a really solid role right now, and it sounds like he might be leapfrogging Cortland Sutton, but Pat Bryant just fits the PPR format as well.
Yeah. Do you want to do Pat? And then what other receiver do you like here? Because I've been grabbing some Tesla lately. I understand that Greg Dortch has been passing him up, but
Yeah, no, I think Tesla makes sense for our
yeah,
Colston Loveland.
cool. Bring
Yeah,
back is
so
what I
we
was
can,
thinking.
yeah, the
Yeah.
little run back on that correlation there.
Okay.
Adonai Mitchell, I saw went already, so
Yeah.
he's off the board for us. That's someone I draft a ton of too.
Same. I had a huge bag of him early in the offseason because he was like it was free, like how do you pass up on free 80 Mitchell and then all the buzz of highlights of him getting touchdowns out of the back of the end zone, and yeah, 80 Mitchell is gonna be good again.
Yeah, I'm a big 80 Mitchell guy. Unfortunately, what happened in that game, got people a little frustrated. But I had a ton of 80 Mitchell last year.
Same.
He paid off his ADP if you think about it that way. But there was a lot of meat left on that bone, and I think that this year he finally shows it off and gets this opportunity. We just need Geno Smith to be anywhere as big good. Yeah, like just better than last season is already good. And I was talking to JSU on the stream just a little while ago, and I was just telling him at this point, anything Geno Smith does better than last year is already an upgrade for the Jets in the last couple seasons.
Yeah,
so they'll take it. They'll take it, and it'll be great. But yeah, everything we've been hearing about the offseason, the time that he has spent with A.D. Mitchell and Garrett Wilson and such, I think this is just all really good stuff. And then during the preseason game they had, on every 2 wide receiver sets that they had out there, it was just 100% Garrett Wilson and A.D. Mitchell. So it looks like that whole thing is set. And what is it? The rumors that Isaiah Williams might be over Omar Cooper Jr. I don't think that's going to be the whole year. Obviously, that's just stuff we're hearing now.
Yeah, I was big on Isaiah Williams. He was a small guy coming out of U of I. And I was like, he's a bargain store Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I was drafting him in the 20th round his rookie year. Not a single person had even heard of this man. He was a former quarterback playing wide receiver. I think he's still developing. Honestly, he's still a young guy too. I mean, and he was a dad at like 16. So like he had to grow up fast, Yeah. So I think,
I always like those stories with like the position players that are like dual threat, or not necessarily dual threat, but dual positions.
Yeah.
Going back to like Ryan Tannehill, he was a wide receiver at Texas A&M before turning into a quarterback, and everyone was rushing that process too and realizing, hey, he just turned into a quarterback. We got Eli Stowers this year out of Vanderbilt, who was a former quarterback, now tight end, which is another tough position to play, which is one of the reasons why, I'll be honest, Eli Stowers is someone I haven't been really high on in best balls right now. He's someone I don't mind in Dynasty. I think he's good. He played really well at Vanderbilt, but I think the transition to the NFL might take him a little longer.
Yeah, I agree.
In my personal opinion, I'm going to be wrong.
I'm in the same boat. I think for somebody that's been playing tight end his whole career, with the production he had from was it Tennessee?
Vanderbilt. He was in Vanderbilt last season.
I knew it was like that area. Like if he would have been playing his entire career, I think maybe we take some shots on Stowers, but I think the transition from being a different position to tight end to having to block these huge dudes, I don't think he's up for it just yet. But
the ones I do like are wide receiver turned running back. I do enjoy those a lot.
I do too.
I'm a sucker for those guys like Brashard Smith. I really enjoyed drafting last season, and maybe it sounds like he might have a better role this year. We'll see how that goes. Who's another one? Surprisingly, Ashton Genty played a little wide receiver in high school. He's from over here in Frisco, Texas, where I'm at. He played. I actually got to see him in high school play. But yeah, when he turned running back, when he went to Boise State, obviously things flew off the map, which is something I always say about Genty. I know we got to draft him here, which I'm excited for. That's another part of Genty's game that doesn't get raved enough about, because when he was at Boise State, they didn't really need him to do that much. But if you go back to who he was prior to that, I mean, he was a wide receiver turned running back. That's going a little sicko with me as far as going high school stuff. But he is fully capable of showing that pass catching ability, which is why I think for me, I like drafting him in the first round when I get a chance to.
Right. All right, we're coming back up here on the clock and just a pick. At tight end, we have Parkinson and Njoku, Darren Waller. Is there anything you like
gotta
here?
go Waller, man.
You gotta go Waller. Okay.
I think we go Waller, and then did we, not that we need it, but did we ever go any correlation for our guy Jackson Dart here? Do we want to get Theo Johnson at the end or Malachi Fields? Yeah.
Fields here. Yeah, that just is a smash, easy pick. I don't know why we weren't looking at it to begin with, but easy pick. Yeah. That works out perfectly. See, things just fall when you're patient. Yeah.
So we got a 3-5-8-2 build so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I give JSU for a hard time for drafting
too many tight ends.
Way too many tight ends. Like he's out here drafting Kolar, which don't get me wrong, he's gonna apparently be part of the starting squad that sits out. But I do think it's gonna be Njoku. Like that's
I was gonna ask you. You're a Chargers guy, so how do you feel about that tight end room?
I love it. I love that they're all mixing in. I think Gatson is got to work on his blocking. That's why they brought in Njoku. Like they brought in Njoku because he can do both. Kolar has receiving chops, but is a very good blocker. I think Mike McDaniel likes those guys that can do both. And I think Njoku's been doing it longer at a higher level. I think he gets the first crack at it. And then if he kind of looks like he's like slipping up a little bit, I can see them giving a chance to Kolar. I just never can tell JSU that.
Yeah, I feel Oronde Gadsden has been a hard click for me. Like you said, for like NFL games and all that, I think it's a great tight end room. I liked Oronde Gadsden last year, and I really enjoyed seeing him come up. But having 3 tight ends now, I like the prices on Njoku and Kolar late in rounds for a tight end room that I feel no one's really running away from that tight end 1 row, for instance. And it does sound like Charlie Kolar is going to be the guy who's on the field most of the time. But yeah, Njoku's going to be out there catching a lot of like end zone catches. And then I'm sure Gadsden, there'll be design plays for him. But where we're drafting Gadsden, we're almost kind of saying he is officially tight end 1, and he's going to replicate anything like those guys up there that you're drafting ahead.
Yeah, and he's not tight end 1. They clearly showed like he is at minimum or at best right now tight end 3 in the offense. And so like I don't think I think it's pick 14, that's not where you should be taking him. I think he should be next to Njoku and Kolar right now. So it's kind of wild that he still goes that high. Yeah. Frisco live in Frisco.
Okay. There we go.
I don't know. We're talking about San Francisco?
No, he's talking about Frisco, Texas.
Oh, Frisco. That's
we talked about that. Ashton Genty came out of Lone Star High School.
Yeah,
a lot of good players that have come out of that high school.
I got married down in Austin, Texas, so we drove down there from Illinois back in the day.
Oh,
we
nice.
Drove through Dallas. We drove through Dallas, and I tell you what, I would never been able to handle that Dallas traffic ever.
What part of Illinois were you from?
Do you know St. Louis area?
Yeah.
At all? Yeah, I was down in St. Louis area.
Down in St. Louis, okay. Because I lived in Chicago most of my life. I'm not only a Chicago Bears fan, but Chicago's my hometown. I've just been living in Texas the last couple of years.
So I went to a school in Galesburg, which is about an hour, I think, or so away from Chicago.
Okay.
I don't think I'm very familiar with Galesburg. College. Yeah, it was with Monmouth College.
Okay.
Played some tennis out there for the college.
Nice.
Yeah, I played college football at McMurray College. That school has now since shut down because it had some weird practices going on there. There was not a profitable school, to say that.
What position did you play?
I played free safety.
Free safety, okay.
Yeah, play caller, free safety, and then I was like,
center field there, yeah.
The college was not great, so I left before I even get started. But yeah, it was not a ideal situation.
Yeah, that's what the Bears currently need right now. Yeah. We lost Kobe Bryant. We're struggling. We just lost the veteran we just signed, Xavier Woods, and we just got a rookie. So yeah, things aren't looking too good. And then the veteran that they just picked up too, Beanie Bishop, who was really good in college, was with the Steelers last year. Excited for him. Played really well in the preseason, but he's suspended for the first 3 games. So yeah, things aren't looking good for us the first 3 weeks. So we'll see defensively how that looks.
Yeah.
So we get Najee here, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get Najee. I already put him in the
229.
Yeah.
Who else do we have here? What else do we need? Should we get another tight end? Do we think we have a 3 tight end room? Do you want more wide receivers?
At tight end, we have Tonjes, Gesicki. I mean, we could get Gesicki and fill out the full on.
Yeah, we got Joe
stack.
Burrow. I like Eric All here, by the way. If you want to do something, a name you haven't got. Yeah.
Former Michigan man. You're not going to hear me tell you nothing about that.
Yeah. If Eric All is healthy, that's a click that I don't feel a lot of people are making right now. And when healthy, obviously the infamous words, right? When healthy, I thought he played really well. Blocking and catching. I mean, he does it all. His problem is he just can't stay healthy, and that goes back to college as well.
And he got hit by a car and then decided that's how healthy he is. Like that's when he's going to be the healthiest, after he gets hit by a car. So I hope he stays healthy, because I was drafting him his rookie year before he got hurt. So
yeah. No, but I think for a 20th round pick, you could have gone Gesicki. But again, if you're trying to do something a little bit differently, and if Eric All is healthy, he will 100% be on the field all the time, because they don't really truly have a true tight end one, because Gesicki has more of a role where he's out there in formations as a receiver. Anytime T. Higgins is out, that's the kind of role he typically plays.
Yeah, and they drafted T. Higgins' replacement with Noah Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
So we finished with the 3-6-8-3. We got Ashton Genty, Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Colston Loveland, Joe Burrow, Carnell Tate, Stephon Diggs, Blake Corum, Jackson Dart, Jordan Mason, Jalen Coker, Jaden Higgins, Cam Ward, Tank Bigsby, Pat Bryant, Isaac Tesla, Darren Waller, Malachi Fields, Najee Harris, and Eric All. Gotta get Najee Harris.
Heavy with the Giants too. Look at us.
Yeah,
you get a little Jackson Dart, Fields, and Harris after JSU was just talking down about the Giants.
I know.
We get 3 players from that squad, so you got to make sure you show them this.
I was in the chat Discord earlier, and I was like, he's like, I'm out. Like I'm officially out on the Giants. I'm like, I'm doubling down. So
I'm in on Malik Neighbors that it's hard for me to say I'm out on the Giants. I've been drafting Malik Neighbors since he was a 4th round pick too. So I've been heavy on Neighbors, and anytime I get a time to click on him, I do.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I was on Neighbors because back in the day there was who you really like. You could take Neighbors or you could take Marvin Harrison Jr. I was like, dude, Neighbors is like far and away the better receiver. Like it wasn't even remotely close. So I've been on the Neighbors
as a Bears fan. I was really hoping, because a lot of the rumors were that the Giants fell in love with Rome Odunze. And if you remember watching that Hard Knocks that year, that was something that they were talking heavily about. I wanted Neighbors to fall to the Bears so bad, because him and Caleb were like boys too. Yeah, I thought Neighbors and Caleb would have been phenomenal for us.
Don't get me wrong. I love that we got Joe Alt, but I would have loved Malik Neighbors as a Charger. It would have been amazing.
I would have taken Joe Alt in a heartbeat. Joe Alt is such a great player, man. He's so good, and he's playing right tackle for y'all.
We just haven't really had like a full healthy season, which is a little like.
Oh, you guys will get that this year, because Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, when healthy, are probably one of the 2 better bookend tackles in the league. So that's going to be huge.
If we can get them healthy, we'll be competitive. But thank you, man, for coming on. Do you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Yeah, man. So I am streaming currently right now. I am at Felix Reyes 89 on YouTube. You can check me out there. I am currently streaming every day now until the NFL season kicks off. I'm doing somewhat of a 31 days of Bestball. I'm on day 10 today, and we had JSU on the show. So I'm over there if you guys want to check me out there. Streaming every single night right around this time. We have a few guests coming on. We have our boy Felix Castro here coming on tomorrow night. So we'll be on around the same time if you guys want to come out and hang out. I'm over on Twitter, also at Felix Reyes 89 if you guys want to hang out there. But yeah, I'm on all different social media platforms, but basically out here grinding Bestball teams over on YouTube.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and we'll be live over there at midnight my time. I took a nap today. I'm not usually up this late because I got to get up in about 5 hours to go to work. So,
oh man, the people we have on the shows are so great. We have some new fans, like some folks that have been hanging out with us a few times. We got one of our guys, Aiden, who's been hopping on, and I just recently found out that he lives in New Zealand. So he was just like, yo, I just got out of work. I'm like, cool, man, graveyard shift. He was like, no, it's 5 p.m. over here. I'm like, where are you? He's like, New Zealand. I was like, wow, he's been hanging out with us on the show. So I love that time of the night. It's just, it gives us a brand new, basically faces we can't see, but people we get to hang out with doing what we love.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we'll be back live tomorrow over on his channel. So I can't wait to hop on over there. And then we'll be back to a schedule whenever I can get on when the kids will let me, and it's been good. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Later, guys.